Most of us may never see life from behind bars, but it's believed that 1 in 3 people you know has in some way come in contact with the criminal justice system. For some inmates, like those in the Bexar County Detention Center, there can be very little communication with the outside world. There may be fewer and fewer visits from family and friends, leading to more disappointment and even depression. All hope is not lost, though. There are people who do care about people in jail, and they can be found in churches all across San Antonio. One determined group of church members of the Macedonia Baptist Church is extending the hope that only Christ can give by witnessing through letters of encouragement. They're building relationships as pen pals.
Alberta, I have assigned Michael to you in request from Mr. Gaffney from Kirby Baptist Church, and I know that you have written him and he has written back to you.
Many of the inmates who receive their notes and cards are touched and respond to the gospel.
Me and a couple of the guys here, we do all that we can to keep each other focused on God's Word. Well, Alberta, it has truly been a blessing to be able to share this time with you. Take care of yourself, and please continue to allow God to use you.
Some inmates they hear from are in desperate situations.
I get letters from him at least 3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Yes.
What a blessing.
But he has nobody else writing him. He has no family. It was just him and his mother. His mother passed away while he was in here.
While letters to inmates can inspire and introduce them to the Lord, the chairman of SABA's Restorative Justice Program, Roger Box, says the need is even greater when they leave jail and it's time to welcome them back to the community.
The difficulty is that maybe they have been touched by the Lord in prison, but they were not used to going to church before when they were out and running the streets or wherever they were doing. And they were not used to that, and the church may not have been effective in even communicating the good news of Christ to them at that point. So it's going to take a different type of mindset to be able to reach with these folks. Plus, you have to have a mature Christian to be able to do it. So they have to have some maturity, the Christian does. They have to have a little bit of training and understanding the different, the style of way of life that many of these people, they come just used to running the system and manipulating people. There's one fellow that told me, he said, I said, "Who were you raised by?" And he said, "Well, the street was my mother." And that kind of impact upon people's lives doesn't give them much way to learn, knowing how to respond to true life and responsible, and how to get a job and responsibly be a responsible member of society, to contributing member of society. So we would like to be able to follow them up with our churches and to surround them with a loving atmosphere and some responsible and some mature mentors.
86% of inmates released head back to jail within a year. But when they're mentored and engaged, their rate of return drops to only 18%. So the work of the church is critical in helping prisoners transition back into society.
It's scary to walk alongside some of these people unless you have a good team at the church. This isn't something for one person to do. It's something for a team of individuals in the church to become involved with, so that there's a support group to help this one individual, so that one person doesn't have to meet all of their needs. We have to recognize that there are over 3,000 people a year who return to San Antonio from prison. Those 3,000 people live in your neighborhoods. By helping them to reintegrate into the community and find Christ, we improve our communities, we improve the social justice, we make it a safer place for you to live.
Macedonia's letter writers believe while they're in jail is the place to begin relationships, volunteers are needed, but you must be called by God for this special work.
Basically, the requirement is that you love God and you love His people, that you're motivated. You must be motivated. I don't want to give the impression that, oh, you can just come in and start writing letters. You have to be motivated and committed, enough so that you're willing to go through a little training. I know personally that I was very passionate about this ministry because I have a son who's incarcerated. And so when I write to these young men, I tell them that my son is, and then they know that my heart is really there.
Macedonia once sent a donation to a death row inmate.
You people don't even know me, and you are breaking bread with me. But as I have said, a lot goes on. So I just ended up putting the letters and cards away in a safe place with the intentions of writing back, but never do or did. But this last card, I told myself, fool, write these folks back and thank them. So here I am.
Until their pen pals are released, this team will continue to swap letters because they can hear the captives cry.
By justice condemned, in jail to die, my only hope, God's mercy, for his grace did I cry. Then a seed that was planted sometime long ago, in the midst of my sorrow began to grow. That seed was Christ, the Lord, who died for me. In jail with Jesus, I am set free.
A host of association churches are preparing to welcome back inmates. If God is calling your church to this special challenge, contact Saba for more details.